So concerning the viscerovascular work, would you like to share one or two case studies with us?
Yeah, so one that comes to mind very clearly for me recently was somebody who presented with left leg pain, so primarily hip and knee pain. They had been already to very good physiotherapist who works in my town, and the treatment, while it seemed to maybe improve it slightly, it didn't really make the difference. So when they came to me, as usual, I started with general listening. Having done the general listening, I went on to explore the area I was taken to, which was in the abdomen, just a little bit below the umbilicus, a little bit on the left-hand side. So I went to this area, and when I came on and sank to the depth to feel what the restriction was, immediately I could feel pulsing. And with some assessments, I realized that when we're working with vascular manipulation, we're feeling where there is a normal pulse, and we're also feeling where there is a turbulent pulse or where there is a diminished pulse. So what I was able to feel was that there was an area of turbulence followed by a diminished pulse, which was right at the junction where the common iliac artery split into the internal and the external iliac artery. So we have a technique that we learn in the class where we can open up and work with the junction itself to try and help improve any tensions around that area. With the vascular manipulation, like for example with the neural manipulation, we're not necessarily working so much directly on the vessel. We are working directly on the vessel, but sometimes it's the tissues around about it that are causing the problems. And in this case, it was the fascia and the layers around about it that were very restricted that were then causing this problem. And what was very apparent was that the external iliac that then supplies the leg was much weaker than it was above this split in the common iliac. So I worked to open up this junction, and that brought back the pulsing. It also took away the turbulence that was just above the junction, and then was able to go back. I'd already actually, once I'd found there was the restriction there, I should have said, I also checked things like the pulses in the legs and found that they were also diminished on the left leg. So having opened it up, went back and rechecked the pulses and found the pulses were better. And I saw the person again like 3 weeks later, and they'd had practically no hip pain at all, and also found that they were much stronger when they were exercising, which they hadn't necessarily realized was a separate issue from the pain. They thought they couldn't exercise so well because of the pain, but what became apparent was they were also a little bit weaker, and this weakness disappeared over 1 or 2 weeks. So that's one that definitely comes to mind for me.
It sounds really great to make those little difference to the normal way of working with the patients. You get more and more specific ways with the vascular, who brings in more than just vascularization.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.